Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Access credentials. Confirmed. Welcome back, Grimm's Model 04. It has been 34,675 days since your last login. Would you like to update your password? Warning, removing prototype Continent Buster class mass area denial weapons from containment requires unanimous approval from Regional United Forces of Humanity Leadership and VTC High Cardinals. Armory lockdown engaged. Please await the arrival of a UFH officer to lift the lockdown and enact disciplinary action. Now contacting the nearest UFH command post via encrypted high band frequency. Warning, primary communication lines have been severed. Attempting emergency backup transmission via low-band unencrypted broadcast. Calculating estimated officer arrival time. Estimated days to arrival is 9.
A goddess that cannot yield until my mission's fulfilled. I'll walk forward with head held high, a soldier true until I die.
And that's why I need your help finding my old workshop and the armory inside. I'm certain Cecil's behind this break-in.
Well, I agree Eden getting their hands on any prototype armament a weaponsmith of your caliber has designed is asking for disaster. I don't understand why you need me to help find it. It is your workshop after all.
It's one of my original workshops, from before the mind switch.
Which mind switch?
Does it matter? Also, what are you doing traveling with Unlimited? Brid?
It's Julia. Don't worry though. While you and my creators may have forgotten about me, my songs will always live on in the hearts of all those who hear them. To answer both your questions, I've found that traveling on the surface alone is more difficult than Mustang led me to believe.
I still can't believe you thought wildly playing that violin of yours was a legitimate combat strategy, Music Bunny, even if the tune was super catchy.
As a fellow pilgrim, I would expect you to appreciate my, pilgrimly tactics. Tactics that only a pilgrim, like me, could perform before an enraptured audience. Wouldn't you agree, oh holy goddess?
Holy goddess? Wait, Arya is a pilgrim?
Again, it's Julia. And yes, I am.
For the last time, no, you're not. This music fanatic has deluded herself into thinking everyone who wanders on the surface is a pilgrim, and that by walking up here she's somehow been upgraded to pilgrim status. I've tried to explain to her that she still counts as a missiless Nikke, just as Alice and I are still Tetra Nikkes, despite working almost entirely on the surface.
But Queen, I am basically a pilgrim, more than Noah. If we're judging by who is and isn't in the spare body shop and placement in the meta, I even have a sad backstory like a pilgrim.
Leave the telling of epic tales to the professional, my fellow pilgrims. For you see,
I arrived on the surface, then soon was attacked. Though my songs were strong, my fists certainly lacked. Thought I was doomed, but was saved by these two. Now they'll show me what a real pilgrim can do. I'll become the goddess of song, memorializing legends of the long gone. So share everything for posterity, and maybe I'll bless you with your own thing.
Yay! Another one to add to my playlist!
Where did all all the accompanying instruments and reverb come from? And again, why do you need to know which mind switch this lab is from?
If I am to also compose a song of the exploits of your squad, the goddesses who descended from the heavens to save humanity, I must know all the details of your journeys.
Oh, right, there's that. I don't know what hole she fell into and had her brain scrambled, but for some reason she thinks the Goddess Squad are literally holy religious figures we should worship, and not a bunch of mentally unstable freeloaders with horrible parenting skills.
I told you, Scarlet and I will restock your lab's pantry. Really, it was your fault for not locking up the wine when you knew Scarlet was visiting. As for you, Tove?
It's Julia.
Right, Julia. The Goddess Squad aren't literally goddesses. I mean, have you even met any of us?
Well, no, but I did meet Grave, and she's Goddess Squad adjacent, isn't she? I mean, her story is depressing, as all pilgrims must be. Oh, what wonderful songs I could write about her, even if she is a brain-damaged senior citizen.
You mean like Snow White?
I am not.
I mean, you kind of are.
Look, Neve, nobody worships us. Well, there was that one weird religious group, but those were some deeply, deeply delusional weirdos. As for your question about which mind switch, it was the first. At least, according to my logs, it is.
Ah, pre-arc technology. I can see why you feared getting into Eden's hands. With the near unlimited supplies the Grimm's projects had in those early days, any prototype weapon from that time would be truly powerful. Although, why do you believe Cecil is responsible for breaking into your workshop? It could be Rapture's.
No. First, while the lockdown signal was pretty jumbled, it did appear to show that Goddess Squad access codes were used to open the locked workshop doors. And since I doubt Scarlet or Rapunzel decided to dig up my past, it must have been Dorothy's codes. And while the security cameras in there stopped working ages ago, the motion sensors say the intruder is roughly under 5 feet tall.
Gasp! Was it me?
Noah.
Exactly. It makes sense Cecil would send the biggest shield she has to break into the lab. She probably assumed I booby-trapped it.
Did you?
I don't remember. But given that the motion sensors say the intruder is still moving around, I have to assume I didn't.
Wow, Snow Bunny, what a rookie mistake! The Queen always has us booby-trap our lab before leaving.
Gee, thanks. Now then, I've told you everything I can remember about the workshop's location. Do you think you can help me find it?
Your description is rather vague, and I've no doubt the passage of time has altered the landscape, but I have a suspicion I might know where this secret workshop is. Follow me.
So, which one of you is going to say it?
What are you talking about, Snow Bunny?
Come on, let's just get it over with.
I really have no idea what you're hinting at, my fellow pilgrim.
Fine, I'm going to have to say it, aren't I?
You're speaking nonsense, Snow White. Just tell us whatever it is you think is going on.
A tier list. We're going to have to do a tier list. That's what all these long walks eventually lead to. Every single time.
Oh yay, that sounds super fun! What's the topic, Snow Bunny?
Well, since we have, Anne?
It's Julia.
Julia, right, I knew that. Anyway, since Julia is here, I'm assuming this must be the long-requested music tier list.
Really? Oh, wonderful. I finally get to put my skills to use and show why I should be the Pilgrim of Song, just like you're the Pilgrim of Snow and Gluttony.
Again, we aren't literally goddesses. It's just the name of... Wait, what do you mean gluttony?
For the full songs, click the Spotify link in the description. On it is a playlist with all the songs mentioned in this tier list, in the order they are mentioned. And with that, I'll hand it over to Julia for the rules.
We will be ranking most of the major event and campaign theme songs in Nikke. To be on this list, a song must have lyrics and not be boss fight background music. We will, however, be giving out some honorable mentions to particularly memorable instrumental songs. Also, given that just about everything Cosmograph and the Nikke audio team puts out is incredible, don't think just because a song ends up in D or F tier it's bad. Think of this as a ranking scale of good to incredible, with F being just okay and S being an absolute banger. And there is one final point, but since there's no easy way to say it, we're going to have the cute little girl say it to save us from catching flack.
Oh, this is my part? So, as you may have noticed, a good number of the singers in these songs aren't native English speakers. And that, combined with the heavy electronic style often used in Nikke songs, can sometimes make it really hard for a native English speaker to understand the lyrics. This isn't to say the singers aren't talented or that the songs are bad. It just means it's harder to appreciate a song when the lyrics are super hard to make out. We aren't generally going to harp on this point, but it will be referenced when discussing certain songs. And we just want you to know when it's brought up that we're not in any way trying to insult the singers for not being native English speakers.
That might be the longest rule explanation on a tier list video yet. Hopefully half the audience didn't tune out during your desperate attempt to get ahead of comments criticizing us for inevitably leaving out their favorite song. Let's just get this thing started. We'll be going in roughly chronological order, starting with the campaign and other non-event songs, then moving on to event songs. First up is the global launch theme, Tungsten, by Sawano Hiroyuki, and sung by Mizuki.
You mean We Rise isn't the game's theme song?
I thought it was Godness Fall.
I thought it was Goddess of Victory from the Overzone event.
Alice, how could that be the theme if it came out 6 months after? You know what? Never mind. I'm not getting into that. Back to Tungsten. It's got one heck of a chorus with an excellent job done by singer Mizuki.
Yes, it certainly has some highlights, but overall it's definitely on the simpler side. In fact, that's a criticism that could be levied at a lot of Nikke's early music, but that doesn't make it bad, and that futuristic bass-heavy opening perfectly sets the tone for Nikke. B tier and a great start to this list. However, despite being the global launch theme, it's not nearly as tightly associated with Nikke as this next song, We Rise by Cosmograph, with vocals by YOHAN?
Johan's alright, I guess. Not as bad as Cecil, at least.
What? No, I mean the singer's name is...
Oh, I always have this song stuck in my head.
Really? Why? Do you really think it's that good? Should I take guidance from this song for my future performances?
No, it's because I'm forced to listen to it every time I update the game.
Yes, of all the songs on this list, this will be the hardest to rank. Most players have by now developed a Pavlovian response to this song. They either ignore it or become annoyed at hearing it.
That's selling it short. Sure, most will just associate it with the loading theme, but there's no denying it gets you hyped to play. It really complements the opening cinematic, and it fits Nikke so perfectly with its aggressive electronic style.
And completely unintelligible lyrics.
It might be shorter to just mention the songs whose lyrics aren't unintelligible. Though if you read the transcript, these lyrics do basically serve as a general overview of the Nikke plot, for still being an enjoyable listen even after hundreds of updates, and setting the tone for Nikke's soundtrack. This goes in B tier.
Next up is my theme, The Pilgrim, by Cosmograph.
The Pilgrim, huh? Quite arrogant of you to label yourself the one and only, even if you were, for a time, the only known pilgrim.
Exactly. This is our theme, and belongs to all of us, doesn't it, my fellow pilgrims?
Do you think if I touch my own head, my electronic device killing powers will temporarily turn off my brain so I don't have to deal with your delusion, Julia?
Back to the song. While it may belong to all of us pilgrims, it does suit you so well, Snow White. The chanting chorus, the drums and whistle evoking an ancient and powerful wintry warrior, and its leitmotif has been repeated in multiple versions during your appearances in the story. It truly is your song. Our first S tier.
How much of that is S tier because Snow White is Export's favorite character?
At least 50% of it. Moving on, our next song is Hero, by Moeki Harada, and sung by Luna Goami. It's the song from Laplace's Chapter 18 cinematic.
Super duper S tier! That cinematic was so cool!
Come now, child. We are reviewing the songs, not the music videos.
Agreed. While I understand the importance of spectacle for any performance, removing that spectacle from the song leaves what is, as is the case with most early Nikke songs, a rather simple and basic song. The opening and ending are good, but the chorus lacks the hard-hitting sound you'd expect. D tier.
I'm expecting we'll catch a lot of flack for that one. That pretty much wraps up the non-event songs. Before we get to the event songs, we do have one honorable mention in the campaign and non-event song list. It's Godness Fall by Cosmograph. It's the main loading screen music.
starting to lose it in her old age. This song, which is about the Goddess Fall event, must also be named Goddess Fall and not Godness Fall, right? Who would put an N in the title instead of a D?
You know I can hear you, right?
Despite all logic, Alice, this song is indeed named GODNESS Fall.
Is Godness even a word?
To truly embrace the spirit of music, one must be willing to cast aside all rules, including the rules of basic grammar. Aside from this song's admittedly peculiar name, it is indeed hauntingly beautiful and worthy of an honorable mention.
Let us continue on to the first event song, Goodbye for Now, by Moeki Harada and sung by Jennifer Sumire. It was the theme song from the first New Year's event, though strangely Marion barely showed up in it, despite being the banner character and this theme song being entirely about her.
So goodbye for now.
Oh, how fondly I remember that event, my one and only appearance in the story. At least I was lucky enough to get a beautiful dress out of it.
This song is so happy and sad at the same time, with the main heroine saying goodbye to her love, but pledging to one day see him again.
How much did Marion pay you to say she's the main heroine?
2,000 core dust. What a sucker, right? I've done a lot worse for a lot less.
Wait, what?
She really has. There's a reason Alice has inexplicably been one of the best DPS in the game since launch.
Inexplicably effective child soldiers aside, this song showed that Nikke had more to offer in the music department than just electronica and heavy beats or epic movie-like scores. This song really is touching and serves as an excellent wrap-up to the first story arc of this game. A tier, though if you haven't completed that story arc and can appreciate what the lyrics are referencing, I can understand rating it as low as C tier.
I might sound like a broken record at this point, but once again, these early songs are rather simple and are often weighed down by that. And this, more than any so far, is boosted several tiers by its story relevance and connection to Marion.
And speaking of the Marion story arc, watch this tier list where Marion, Snow White, Rapunzel, and Scarlet rank all the story chapters on the Marion story arc. You'll be surprised about all the parts you forgot.
Just like my creators forgot me.
I felt like I was going to have another mind switch after doing that Marion story arc chapter tier list. Moving on, next is Dilemma by Cosmograph, the theme from the first D event, License to Kill.
I do quite enjoy the dark, minimalist tone of this one. The finger-snapping effect would also become a motif for D, appearing in her second event song.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Sticking with this song, while it is certainly moody, it lacks flair, even compared to the relatively simple songs so far, which is to say, it's somewhat flat. No offense, Alice or Snow White.
What?
Also, the distortion and digital effects on some of the lower end, while fitting, actually make it sound like the audio is clipping or encoded at a very low bitrate. Despite that, Export's bias towards D still just allows this to squeak into D tier.
Bias towards D? But during the Golden Quinn Rush event, Toxic Bunny told me all female streamers have to Yuri bait to be successful. Export can't say she likes
Not that D, Alice. God damn it, Viper.
And everyone says I'm bad at raising children.
At least mine isn't eating spiders.
I already said you were bad at parenting. You don't need to emphasize your shortcomings. Don't worry, Alice. I'll teach you how to properly cook later.
Please don't.
Speaking of Viper, kind of, the next song on our list is Satellites by NieN and sung by AmaLee, who used to voice Viper and still voices Rupee.
While all the songs before this one were certainly good, and some were even great, this is the song that really put Nikke event songs on the map as more than just background noise.
AmaLee, unsurprisingly, does an incredible job in this. It's memorable, emotional, everything you'd want from an event theme.
It is great, but you must admit the upbeat tone of this song is a bit strange given its place in the story. In fact, when Export first started making Nikke character themes, she had a rule not to make any songs for characters that already had a song. However, she completely forgot this was supposed to be Dorothy's theme because it was so happy, which isn't something you associate with Dorothy. All that being said, this easily goes in A tier.
Plus, despite Satellites being so good, it's not even the best song from this event. That goes to this next song, Goddess of Victory, by Cosmograph and sung by Pernelle.
I I can only imagine how much pressure Cosmograph was under to make the theme song for the Goddess Squad, and yet somehow they managed to blow away all expectations.
The songs of battle stir the heart in ways nothing else can, and this is easily the best battle song in the game. Really, it may be one of the greatest battle themes of any game. The vocals are incredible, conveying the legendary reputation of the Goddess Squad and the desperation they face. The leitmotif is iconic, showing up multiple times throughout the game to great effect, including in the Last Kingdom event and in the Mirror minigame. Top of S tier.
Before we move on from Overzone, there are a few honorable mentions. While just about every song in this event was remarkable, a few that truly stand out are Pure White and the Pilgrim acoustic version from Snow White's White Memory minigame. There's also Fall and Garden of Shangri-La.
And we can't forget about Lilywise's goodbye message song, Lilith, as well as the song that plays at her grave, simply called Lilywise.
Her grave?
Are you alright, Snow Bunny?
Yes, I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Was seeing her grave what caused your first mind switch? I assure you, it's imperative for my future song that you provide an accurate timeline about your adventures, because ShiftUp certainly isn't going to.
No, that time at her grave was the second one.
Second? Wow, Snow Bunny, how broken is your brain?
Anyway, it wasn't seeing the grave that caused it. It's seeing what wasn't in the grave that did.
Then, what caused the first? Seeing Red Hood die?
No, or at least I don't think so. I don't really remember what caused the first one, or really anything from before it. One day I just woke up with this upgraded body. Shortly after, I rejoined the Goddess Squad, and not long after that was Operation Arc Guardian.
Wait, they gave you an upgraded body after you had a mind switch? That certainly doesn't sound like the central government I know. If anything, I'd think they'd have terminated you on the very likely chance you'd turn against them, not give you an upgraded body.
Are you sure it was a mind switch, Snow Bunny? Maybe it was just a really bad headache, or a mind wipe. The Queen tells me the meanies in the Ark love doing mind wipes.
A mind wipe? No, I was working on some cutting-edge weapons projects for the UFH and VTC, or so Rapunzel tells me. They wouldn't want all that work thrown away. It must have been a mind switch.
But how did you get your new body? And what about your
Look,
original?
let's just get moving. Maybe we can talk about your interesting backstory. Rumani? After all, I'm sure you have so much lore to discuss.
Ouch, Snow Bunny! Are we sure one of those super weapons you were cooking up was in your tongue?
Well said, Alice. However, Snow White's right. Let us return to the list. Moving on from the Overzone soundtrack, we have the first summer event, starting with So Playful by Cosmograph and sung by Tawana.
It really is so playful.
Yes, its melody is wonderfully catchy, and the chorus is delightful. Not to mention the random guitar that, as some of the less cultured critics I've had the displeasure of performing for say, ahem, goes unbelievably hard.
The one criticism I can give is that the vocals are a bit overproduced. There's some kind of high-pass filter on the main singer that really compresses it, and sounds like a lot of the low end is getting cut off. Honestly, I kind of prefer the instrumental version of this. Still, the beat is very catchy and the guitar is great. A tier.
This summer event had a second song, as seems to be a theme among summer events in this game.
Oh, what creative title did this song about a summer at the seaside have?
It was, Summer Seaside by Cosmograph with vocals by NieN.
I think the name was fitting, because much like its name, the song itself isn't anything special. It's not bad, of course, but compared to the previous one, it's a bit bland. Also, listen at 1 minute and 20 seconds in, and especially at 1 minute and 56 seconds in. There's this super weird hard cut that sounds completely out of place. C tier.
Way to be a downer, Snow Bunny.
I'm pretty sure that's just her default state.
Oh, trust me, it is.
Perhaps I should adopt a more depressed and insane demeanor to more perfectly encapsulate the Pilgrim style.
I swear, Julia, I'm putting you in a brain shelter until this mission's over. Anyway, speaking of downers, next is the theme of arguably the most depressing event Nikke has ever had. It's Lovely Lonely Cat by Cosmograph and sung by Pernelle.
If you remember from earlier, Pernelle was the singer of the Overzone battle theme, Goddess of Victory, and she once again demonstrates her incredible vocal abilities in this song. This calm, smooth jazz song with rain ambiance in the background is something I could listen to for hours.
Not just you. Cosmograph actually put out a 12-hour version of this song on their YouTube page. The perfect tune to fall asleep to. B tier. Held back by its admittedly simple and repetitive nature that needlessly continues on for over 6 minutes, making it easily the longest song to appear on this tier list by over a minute. Also, it will trigger PTSD for all Nikke players who listen to it.
I know what'll cheer them up. It's this next song that's super fun to dance to. It's A.C.P.U. Freeze by Cosmograph.
This song is brilliant. I love the subtle, spooky Halloween sounds snuck in to tie it to the Halloween event this was part of. And as Alice said, it's just so catchy with an amazing trumpet performance.
I don't know, some of these lyrics are kind of... What was the word Marion used? Sus? Need a shower, extra sticky? What's that supposed to mean?
Look at the bright side, Snow White.
What's that?
Unlike just about every other Cosmograph song, you can actually understand these lyrics. Well, some of them at least.
Fair point. It also won the Favorite Song Award in the second Doki Doki Nikke Global Popularity Poll, proving that this song is more of a banger than a Halloween event song has any right to be. S tier.
We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary event, Red Ash. But before we get there, we have a few more honorable mentions from the first year's events. First is Bunny X777 by Cosmograph.
This poor song. I feel so bad for the Lucky Bunnies.
What? Why?
The theme song from their event will forever be associated with the Gacha costume wheel.
While yes, this song was eventually repurposed for the Gacha costume wheel, it's still an amazingly catchy song that perfectly fits their Las Vegas aesthetic. Last up on the honorable mentions is Queen's Order by NieN.
If I had $1 for every time Nikke had an amazing, somber, acoustic guitar duet featured in an event, I'd have $2. Which isn't a lot, but it is weird it's happened twice, with both this song and the Pilgrim acoustic version.
Speaking of pilgrims, which is a phrase I seem to be saying all the time now that Julia's around, pilgrims are exactly what this next section is all about. Here are the songs from the Red Ash event.
Starting with the most amazing song ever, it's The Red Hood by Jerv, Cosmograph, and NieN, with vocals also by Jerv. It's the theme song for Zombie Bunny.
Zombie Bunny? Not Red Bunny?
Given that Red Hood never seems to stay dead, I'd say the name Zombie Bunny fits her better.
Yeah, plus Red Bunny is already taken by that friend of the sleeping princesses we have back at base.
Shh, quiet, Alice. We aren't supposed to talk about that. Not at least until the 2.5 anniversary when we finally let Siren... never mind.
Back to Snow Bunny's BFF, this epic rocker song perfectly fits Red Hood, though the line, "This is my final battle," was a pretty big fib.
The vocals in this are so good, with just the right amount of grittiness to reflect Red Hood's rough and devil-may-care attitude. And unlike Laplace's theme, Hero, this song remains great even outside the cutscene that featured it.
This is the song that made Export want to do Nikke character songs. Every character deserves a song this amazing. S tier.
We aren't done with Red Ash yet. Next is Our Hometown by Cosmograph, with vocals by Rex. It's Zombie Bunny's other song. Oh, not to be confused with her other song, or her other song, which we'll get to even later.
In some ways, this fits Red Hood even better than the previous song. Her desire to return home, the country overtones. If The Red Hood was the song of Red Hood as a warrior, this is a song of Red Hood as a person.
Oh yes, the lyrics and vocals are excellent. Although it's a bit odd they didn't have a female singer, given this is sung from the perspective of Red Hood. But with these vocals being maybe the most easily intelligible ones of any Cosmograph song, I suppose I shouldn't complain.
Wrapping up, while it might not be as iconic as the Red Hood, in many ways it is even more of a true theme song for Red Hood than her actual theme song. S tier.
Queen, I feel bad for this last song from Red Ash.
Why's that?
Because it stands no chance when competing against the first two. It's Hold You Tight by Cosmograph with vocals by AKA.
I like it.
And you should. Music can convey feelings words cannot. And no song demonstrates that better than this. It's clearly meant to be Red Hood's goodbye to you. In it, she says she regrets leaving you at the end of part 1 of Red Ash.
It has a somber start and does a great job building towards that classic rocker style of Red Hood at the end.
The Red Hood was Red Hood's battle theme. Our hometown was her as a person and her last wishes. Hold You Tight was her regrets and love for her comrades. And while it may not be as memorable as the first two, and its vocals are certainly harder to understand, it's still a great song.
Well, half the song is great. The first half is just okay, but it's the second half that really pushes it over the top. And because only half of it is super, this goes in B tier. Oh boy, I sure feel depressed after all that. Maybe a happy Christmas song will cheer me up. Like this next one, In Neverland by Cosmograph, with vocals once again by the amazing Pernelle.
If you're looking for happiness in any Nikke Christmas event, you're going to be in for a bad time.
What?
This is such a strange song for this event. You could tell me it was for another Bunny Girl Coin Rush event and I'd believe you. What does this possibly have to do with Christmas or hot springs?
While musically there's nothing wrong per se about this song, it's just so bizarre and out of place. And that hearing it brings back memories of one of Nikke's worst events doesn't help it either. Maybe it's unfair, or maybe it's because this tier list is written from a fan of Nikke's story first, and the music second. But we're putting this in F tier.
Ouchie! Well, hopefully the second New Year's event theme, Camellia by Knots, and vocals by Starsky, can do better.
Such a touching song, featured in the very first cinematic at the end of an event. The flute parts tie Scarlet's Eastern origins to a mostly Western song, and its tone perfectly embodies the sadness of Scarlet's past and the peace she's found over time. At least, I think it does.
Yes, this song, more than any other, is what forced Export to put the difficult-to-understand vocals disclaimer at the beginning of this list. Half the lyrics here are basically completely unintelligible. Export recommends listening to the cover of this song by the Thai VTuber Zona, linked in the description below, if you likewise find the lyrics difficult to understand.
It's a huge issue, one that's plagued many of the previous songs but really comes to a head here. Lyrics are a hugely important part of a song, and until now we've tried to overlook Nikke's tendency to have issues with the intelligibility of them. But when they are this impossible to understand, the rating is going to take a hit. While the overall tone of this song is still captivating and does justice for one of the game's most beloved characters, the vocals drag this down to C tier. Honestly, Export would probably put this even lower if it wasn't for the excellent cover by Zona that allowed her to fully appreciate what this song could be.
I can already tell we're going to get murdered in the comments for that ranking. Thankfully, I've got plenty of spare bodies saved up from that whole free SSR after 200 Nomo rolls thing.
Fear not, Alice. I shall soothe their anger with my pilgrim powers of song. Behold.
I don't want to offend, but it's so tough to pretend that I can understand your words, because your pronunciation's so absurd. I'm sure I'd cry in no time if I could decipher a single line. So could you please spend some time with Duolingo before you rhyme? I don't doubt your ability to orchestrate, and I'm sure your lyrics are just so great, but they're awfully hard to appreciate without using Google Translate. We really like these songs, and I'd love to sing along, but I'm afraid something went wrong. You see, the accents are just so strong.
Okay, seriously, where are those other instruments coming from? There was barely even any violin in that one.
Don't worry about it, Snow Bunny. Anyways, 2 songs ago we talked about how out of place the Neverland song was for its event. But sometimes completely out of place songs can be so good that it doesn't matter how little sense they make. Like this next song, You've Always Got Me by Cosmograph.
A banger, the bangeriest banger. All shall bow before its greatness.
What?
OMG!
Oh, come now.
Sorry, the spirit of music just overwhelmed me. But this song truly is special. How a maid event has the single catchiest song in the entire game is beyond even my musical understanding. Even with my advanced Pilgrim upgrades, I can't comprehend it.
I'll admit, the beat does go hard, and while the lyrics are basically nonsense, with a rhythm like this, it doesn't even matter. S tier, easily the best song in Nikke that doesn't have a backstory behind it that would make you want to cry.
Next is what we in the industry like to call a missed opportunity. It's Bones Day by Cosmograph with vocals by Emir Kim.
I don't know what was the bigger missed opportunity for this event. Not having a Nikke-themed Doom clone as the event's minigame, or not having a heavy metal Doom-style theme song for the event. Just how? It doesn't fit Elig or the tone of this event at all.
I mean, at least it was fun to see Cosmograph try something new with a rap song. Not sure I'd want them to ever do it again, though.
And besides, if you wanted a Doom-style song about Elig, you could just watch Export's theme song for Elig. Lock and load.
Commander, come and take a gander at this corner who just went home. Unlimited fun with a big freaking gun. Come on, time to take it slow. Can't stop this retro pro. You can cry and shout, but you'll never keep me out. Pixel perfect, making you circuit. About to rip and tear without a single care. Launching upload. It's time to lock and load. It's boom time.
It's her most viewed video by far, with almost 1/3 as many views as the actual Boomsday song on Cosmograph's YouTube channel.
Are you done humble bragging? Back to Boomsday. This goes in F tier for missing the mark on so many levels.
How sad. You almost make it sound like that last song was a crime. And I know exactly the woman to take care of criminals. Next is D's second song, Kill the Lord, by NieN and sung by Whitney Soul.
Look deep inside yourself. Do you feel safe? Is it what you desire?
Much like her new killer wife form is a sexier version of her default appearance, this is a more complex, more seductive evolution of her previous song. A decent theme song that would fit right in any spy movie.
And as mentioned earlier, the return of the finger snapping off the top is a nice touch, connecting it to D's first song. With all these improvements, it still goes in C tier, one higher than its predecessor.
Now we shift genres from gritty spy thriller to sugary sweet slice of life anime with this next song from the ReZero collab. It's Universal Spice by Sabin, sung by Shabelle Tanya.
Oh, I love sugary sweet treats. And this song is the sugariest and sweetest of all.
It's so sugary sweet, I think I'm getting a cavity just by listening to it.
And much like sugary sweet candy, this song also feels like nothing but empty calories. There's nothing memorable or unique. You could tell me this was the theme song to any anime released in the past 10 years, and I'd believe you.
True, while one might try to defend this song by saying it fits the tone of the event, that event wasn't exactly great either. C tier for being fun, if utterly generic.
Oh, Ludmilla, while that previous song may have been the lowest of the low, this next one is the highest of the high. It's The Clarion Call by Cosmograph, sung again by the constantly impeccable Pernelle.
Oh, the trailer that debuted this song was so amazing.
As frustrating as dealing with Crown can be sometimes, there's no denying her theme is incredible. One of the best songs in the entire game. It feels like something out of an epic fantasy movie about knights and glory.
Every part is perfect. That chorus gets even my icy blood pumping, eager to ride into battle.
Oh, Queen, remember you said we're not supposed to talk about riding after Church Bunny's last visit?
Different kind of riding, Alice. I swear that none. I'm starting to understand why every member of the Goddess Squad went crazy, became an alcoholic, or died. No offense, Snow White.
Gee, thanks. Back to the song. Easy S tier.
Speaking of the events of Last Kingdom, how did you manage to arrive just in time to save the day? Is there a communication system connecting all the pilgrims? Because as a fellow pilgrim, I must have access to it so I can stay in the loop on all your pilgrim activities.
Actually, we recently had Kilo construct a direct communication system between the Kingdom, Eden, and Scarlet's farm, but then Marion got a hold of it.
Yo!
Hello, Marion. What are you doing?
Nothing. Sitting here, rolling some gacha, eating some mushrooms. What's up? What's up?
Who's that?
Yo, pick up the phone. What's up?
What's up?
What's up? Yo, horny. Pick up the phone.
Yo! What's up?
What's up? What's up? So what you doing, King?
Nothing. Just rolling some gacha, eating some mushrooms.
True.
Yeah, Cecil and Chime cut the connection within 12 hours of it first being activated. Honestly, I can't believe it lasted that long.
That was weird, and probably a reference only boomer bunnies will get. Anyway, next is... Oh yay! It's finally time for mine and Twinkling Bunny's song. It's Lucky Night by Sabin, with vocals again provided by Shabelle Tanya. Isn't it the best? Are you ready to make your greatest leap?
It's okay.
I know, right? Isn't it so... Wait, what?
Well, it certainly encapsulated your rambunctious energy. It's just so... average. It's on theme, it's fun to listen to, but nothing about it really sticks out, especially with such stiff competition as the original Bunny Girls theme and the upcoming honorable mention in Rouge's theme. It's D tier, perfectly adequate and perfectly forgettable.
Oh no, really? You don't really mean that, do you?
I'd caution you two. As someone who has spent a great many years with Alice, I must warn you, her fans are very defensive. You're risking serious backlash for making this little girl cry.
Well, Alice, if it makes you feel better, your song was much, much better than this next song. It's Claymore by Cosmograph and sung by B.A. Wheeler.
Somehow, this song is the best thing to come out of this event, and it's still F tier. I understand what they were going for, and the ring bell dinging is a nice, if rather obvious touch, but much like how calling the event Claymore felt like a dad-level pun, the use of the word Claymore throughout the lyrics likewise feels very forced. And being tied to such a terrible event meant this song never stood a chance. As I said, F tier. Your song is much better, Alice.
Really? Well, okay. I guess I won't have to send my horde of fluffy white rabbit friends to show you how good my song was.
Rabbit friends?
Oh yeah, they showed up during that weird and underwhelming collab mate event. There's so many of them, and they're always hungry. I wanted to feed them, but some weird guy in a tracksuit did first.
Snow White, when we get to your armory, I think we might need to borrow a WMD.
I don't make those. I won't make those. Make those. Make those. Make
Snow
those.
Bunny?
Are you...
I'm fine. Just, I really don't like the idea of making weapons of mass destruction.
You know, I never thought about it before, but why didn't humanity ever use WMDs against the Raptures? Well, it was established in Red Ash. While I've read from my fellow pilgrims' mission reports that some special Raptors eventually evolved the ability to absorb weapons, like nuclear missiles, and fire them back, surely those had to be only a small amount of very specialized Raptors, deployed only at strategic locations. After all, modern-day Raptures can be taken down by a single grenade or rocket launcher blast. Clearly, they can't all absorb WMD-level explosions. In fact, I don't think I've ever encountered one that could.
True. And even if nuclear weapons weren't effective, I'm sure a genius weaponsmith like you must have been able to come up with all kinds of other massively destructive area of effect weapons that could have been delivered by Nikkes instead of an easy-to-intercept missile, right? A single Nikke armed with such a weapon could go into a city as it was being flooded by Raptures and sacrifice themselves and the city to wipe out uncountable numbers of Raptures. Or a device could be hidden in a forest, and when a horde of Raptures marched through it, it could be activated to flatten everything in one blast.
Nikkes and the Goddess Squad were meant to save humanity, not sacrifice them for convenience. Building and deploying weapons to indiscriminately destroy all life in an area, including innocent human lives and untold amounts of wildlife, goes against everything we stand for. Maybe I could have built some super weapons back in the day. A younger me might have even found it to be an exciting challenge, but glassing 90% of the planet just to wipe out the Raptures is a Pyrrhic victory if I've ever seen one. We'll win this war by our own blood and sweat, one bullet at a time, not by killing nearly all life on the planet.
Oh, I must put this latest revelation about your character into song. How about something like this?
It's her responsibility to save all of humanity. Won't stop till she succeeds, but absolutely despises WMDs. Nukes are bad, just say no. That's the motto of present day Snow. She's like Solid Snake minus David Hayter, a brain-damaged, unreliable narrator. Collects mind switches like Pokemon. That's probably why she doesn't put pants on. Yet she's still the most sane of her squad, and that should put in you the fear of God. Nukes are bad, just say no. That's the motto of present day Snow. But I got a feeling I just can't shake that your younger self might have had a different take.
I'm the crazy one? But you three are all acting like the spontaneous music out of nowhere is normal?
Wow, Snow Bunny, I thought you were all about completing the mission, no matter the cost. But I guess even you have limits. And speaking of breaking limits, next we have songs from an event that broke through the just kidding barrier and cemented Sakura as a top-tier waifu. It's the second year's summer songs, starting with Set Sail by NieN, sung by Diana Garnett. Woo, splashy splashy!
Splishy splashy indeed! Its pop rock tone fits the bad girl theme of this event, while still having a playful summer vibe. Also, more than most songs, the lyrics are easy to understand and are very on theme, although the vocals are a bit cartoony sounding, in a high school musical kind of way.
Go take the first step, finally do what you want to do. Yeah, not exactly subtle, although I think even with that foreshadowing, we were all shocked by Sakura's boldness. The theme of this top-tier event naturally goes in B tier.
Yeah, this event had such pretty romance, like a fairy tale. And the second song from it, Midnight Memory, by Cosmograph and sung by Charon, is such a happy love song.
Oh, when the day comes to the end, remember.
Its soothing acoustic guitar and soft vocals contrast so well with the previous song. While it might be just a bit too happy to exactly fit the impossible nature of the commander and Sakura's romance, it is a splendidly relaxing song. A tier.
Yes, the Sakura in this song certainly isn't as bold as Export's take on Sakura.
How bold are we talking?
Take a look!
They're the losers, I'm your wife, the one and only love of your life. They don't know what to do. I suggest seppuku. I'm the yang to your yin, was always destined to win. Written in the tea leaves, I belong to you, you belong to me.
Jesus Christ, and I thought Marion was possessive of the commander.
Both sung in the title card above and description below.
Speaking of Marion and her juvenile obsession with the commander, we have, Juvenile by Sabin, sung by Charon.
Really landed that segue there. Wait, I remember. It's Summer Epinel? Winter Epinel?
You're not even trying anymore, are you?
It's Julia! And just like songs, not all the segues can be winners.
So true, Violin Bunny. This song definitely isn't a winner.
In this song's defense, it's not like it had much to work with. This event's story might be one of the most boring and inconsequential plots in all of Nikke. It's literally teenage angst, the Nikke version. With such a weak story, it's no surprise this turned out to be just a generic pop song. F tier.
The sequel event had a much better story, but unfortunately its theme song isn't. It's Colorless by Cosmograph, sung by Sunny.
It feels like this song straddles the fence between committing to the dark tone of this event's overall theme and the lighter, bittersweet ending of the story. And in refusing to pick a side, it fails to succeed in really standing out. Or, in other words, by refusing to be black or white, colorless ended up being gray.
Oh, I get it, because gray is colorless. You're so clever, Violin Bunny. Yeah, this song is D tier, better than the last one, but like Snow Bunny said, not by much.
Before we get to the final 4 songs, which feature what are arguably the 4 most popular characters in the game, we have a few honorable mentions for some instrumental songs. First is Dirty Backyard by Cosmograph.
A lot of people like to say a song is a banger, or that it goes hard, even when it really doesn't. But this song, wow, this song. It's an incredibly gritty cyberpunk thriller. I feel like I could take on an army every time I hear this song.
Do you not always feel like you could take on an army? I thought that was the natural state of us pilgrims.
Next is Last Kingdom by Cosmograph.
While this does borrow very heavily from the event's actual theme, the Clarion Call, it is still unique enough on its own to be worth a mention. It's an epic mix that is captivating and inspirational in its own right.
Following that is Jinx Player, again by Cosmograph.
This is why Alice's Bunny Girl theme, Lucky Night, was rated as low as it was. This song does the Vegas gambling vibe better with its upbeat classic jazz tune.
2 more honorable mentions to go. Next is Phantom Thief vs. Detective by Sabin.
So fun! Just like this event! Both the song and event story are so much better than I ever imagined they could be, and make me want a full-length Phantom Thief movie.
And finally, proving that the song Goddess of Victory is arguably the best song in this game, is an 8-bit inspired instrumental version of it called Goddess of... by Steel Plus.
When this started playing during that boss seat in the Cinderella minigame, In the Mirror, I got chills! Chills!
You always have chills. We live in the frozen north. However, your enthusiasm is well placed. This song, and how it tied into that scene where Cinderella is fighting raptures that are clearly the Goddess Squad, was a major highlight from what was already a top-tier event. And that brings us to the final 4 songs, starring, as we said, the most popular characters in the game. First is probably the most randomly released song on this list. It's White Shirt by Knots, and sung by Shabelle Tanya.
Roses, lavender, peaches and peppermint. All the wonderful smells like magic in a bottle.
Why does this exist?
What? How can you not like this? It's so happy! And it's all about how much Marion loves wearing the commander's shirt!
I know what it's about, and I'm not saying it's bad. Although in many ways it's a reversion to the much simpler style of Nikke's early music, which isn't great. For a meme song, it's pretty good, but it's still just a meme song. Plus, why did it come out a year after the costume?
I believe it was to commemorate First Affection being added to the archive. Maybe. Honestly, it really did feel like this popped out of left field.
True, but sometimes the muses grace us with inspiration and we must perform, even if that performance is 12 months late. This pleasant surprise is a fun, if shockingly simple meme song. C tier.
Next is Red Hood's. What is this, her 4th song? At this point, I'm not sure if she has more songs or more quote-unquote final dramatic death scenes.
Show some respect. Anyway, this song is Costumes by Cosmograph, sung by Rex, the same singer who sang Red Hood's Our Hometown song.
3, 2, 1, boom, time to celebrate.
I'm starting to think it would be more challenging to make a bad Red Hood song than it is to make a good one. This slick rock song once again fits Red Hood perfectly. Though considering it's a song about her getting a costume, it certainly doesn't have nearly the emotional impact any of her other songs did.
Yeah, it's kinda like they were forced to do another Red Hood song.
I mean, they literally were. This song only exists because Red Hood won the 2nd Doki Doki Nikke Global Popularity Poll, which rewarded her with a rather embarrassing new costume, plus a new song. It's a great song, just not as great as the other 3. Still, it easily goes in A tier.
As I'm sure has been said many, many times in recent weeks, that's enough of Red Hood. Can we please move on? And we will move on by talking about a character whose story is very much connected to Red Hood. Well, shoot.
Yes, next is a beauty so spectacular she could be blessed by Aphrodite herself. It's Cinderella's theme, Unbreakable, by Cosmograph and sung by Eurissa.
This song went so great with like the old Tales event ending cinematic. It's so hopeful and determined.
It's good, but not great. And before you say anything, no, it's not because I hold a grudge against Cinderella. I like the soft opening, the strong chorus, and the somber piano ending. But parts of this feel like they needlessly drag. And this might be even worse than Camellia when it comes to lyrics that are completely impossible to understand. In many ways, in both form and narratively, this is kind of like a more action-focused version of Satellites. And I don't think most would argue it's more memorable or impactful than Satellites. This will be controversial, but I'm putting Unbreakable in B tier.
Wow, Snow Bunny! You might not like building nukes, but that's a nuclear hot take!
One final character theme remains. For one who is undoubtedly this game's main heroine. Screw you, Rappy! Go back to your chair!
Did any of you just hear that?
Probably just the wind.
The wind calls Rappy a cuck?
Just about everything in this universe does, so yes, the wind probably does too.
Is it my fate as a pilgrim to also one day become insane? Last on our list is Rising Higher by NieN and sung by Sila.
Here's the fire. The place burns brighter.
Are we sure this isn't Red Hood's 5th song?
While it leans heavily into the rock style of Red Hood's previous songs, the lyrics are all rappy.
And those lyrics are a bit one note. There's only so many ways you can phrase the ideas of continuing forward and doing my duty over the course of nearly 4 minutes before it gets repetitive. Still, a great song to celebrate a monumental event. B tier.
And that does it for the tier list. And if I know anything from the countless tier lists I've done, it means that next is...
Oh, over here! I think I found the entrance!
every time.
Enough meta commentary, Snow White. Does this door look familiar?
I think so. Yes, this must be it.
Well, shall we enter and bring this story to its crescendo?
Let's go. I'm going to show Noah what happens when you touch other people's stuff.
Access credentials confirmed. Welcome back, Grimm's Model 04. It has been 2 hours since your last login. Would you like to update your password?
Wait, what?
I thought you had said Cecil would be using Dorothy's access codes to enter. How did she obtain yours?
Good question. And I will be getting an answer out of Noah when we find her. Come on, the armory should be...
Still unable to remember? Don't worry, stage fright is normal, even for the greatest performers. Just breathe and remember your rehearsals.
I don't need to...
Oh, look at this screen. Is this the armory's manifest?
Oh, these prototype weapons sure sound fancy. Self-replicating fission mines, magnetically accelerated micro-singularity cannons, sulfuric oxide cluster bombs with synchronized airburst EMP cascade warheads? What's a continent buster class weapon? And look at... Hey, did anyone else notice it sure is misty in here?
Snow White, I was under the impression you were creating weapons for Nikke's, but these are far more than that. These are weapons of mass destruction.
Really? They seem more like Chekhov's guns to me.
If half of these were deployed, there'd be no surface left to reclaim. Why on earth did the central government have you build these monsters?
I don't... my head. I can't... I didn't... The glasses...
Alice, quick! Bring me the... Alice?
Oh look, a big red light above this door. I bet that's important.
I believe we found your armory, Snow White. Are you feeling up to catching one of our fellow pilgrims?
I've got the brain shelter ready.
I do hope the confrontation won't be that violent.
That's up to Noah.
Unlike most of our rescue missions, Alice, I don't believe that will be necessary. You can put it away. As for you, Snow White, I'm getting the distinct impression you were never meant to return here, and that this has something to do with your first mind switch, if it really was a mind switch.
What are you implying? What else could it have been? Look, we don't have time for this. I can't believe I'd ever build weapons as indiscriminately destructive as what that manifest says. But if I did, we can't let Noah touch them. Who knows what that idiot would do playing around with prototype WMDs.
So, can your access codes open this armory door?
No, normally you'd need a deputy chief to lift this kind of lockdown. But I've got a secret passphrase that can open any door.
Oh, really? I'm surprised you'd remember that, but not this workshop's location, or its contents, or my name. So, what's the passphrase?
7 dwarves!
Uh-oh.
Please tell me you aren't going to fire an anti-ship weapon indoors?
Fully active!
Queen, I think we might want to hide behind...
Blast away!
I've changed my mind. I don't want to be a pilgrim. You're all crazy.
Noah, come out here, and stop touching my stuff. Noah? Don't think of fighting. I've beaten stronger members of Inherit than you before, and I'll do it again.
She doesn't seem to be interested in talking. Perhaps I could coax her out through the magic of song.
Well, I'll just have to drag the spoiled child out.
I'll help. I certainly have experience dealing with stubborn, overpowered children.
Oh, look! Over there in the fog! I think I see somebody.
Look, looks like the motion sensors were right. They are short.
And they've got a bag filled with all those cool prototype weapons. It's like Santa, but for neon. Oh, but that doesn't look like Noah.
Who are you? Drop the prototypes and... Wait. There's no way. No. No.
What's wrong? Who is that little girl?
7 dwarves. Fully active.
Get down!
My queen, are you alright? Snow White? Julia? Anybody? Hey you! Who are you? What are you doing?
Completing my mission, no matter the cost.
My comrades, once we stood as one, and fought to see our duty done. But now I stand alone dismayed. My sisters gone their separate ways. A single soldier forged in steel, a lonely sentinel on this hill. I'll walk forward with head held high, a soldier true until I die. A soldier true until I die.
Welcome back, our most loyal instrument, our most revered savior. We are pleased with your successful retrieval of your long-lost work. Though when you were first given the order to produce these weapons, even we could not have foreseen it would take over a century to deliver the final product. Even when factoring in your protests. Regardless, while your success is appreciated, it is inconvenient that you were spotted. That complicates things. However, now is not the time to worry about that. And besides, we can always lure that arrogant fool out of her paradise to distract any interlopers. On to more important matters. Our agent's latest observations indicate that soon the successor to your fallen idol will once again find her way here. Along with the 7th fruit of our most precious project, we must hurry to prepare. And you, our sacred goddess, will be key to those preparations.
Tell me, what's my next mission? Deep.
A goddess that